Welcome back to Indian Trace. This is going to be a two-part video. I have two things I want to do. It's going to be a lot of fun. I put a little bit of thought into it. And what you're looking at right here, it's just a group. Now, I found in the last 3 days, this is what I found, hunting. And I found some other pieces that are just C4 artifacts that are going to go out in my koi pond. But these are some nice pieces. And man, I mean to tell you, we've had very semi-wet conditions. No real heavy rain, nothing like that. So you go out and do the best you can. And I just wanted to give you a look at these and clean up. I've been through the Cove, Hidden Hill, the Rise, Notchville, and that's where you're looking at points from. The Split, the Hawk, Vulture, Crystal Beach. I'm serious. Backcountry. Now these are all probably two sites, but many different areas. You know, backcountry. I've been through the Falcon. This came off the Cove. I mean, look at how long that would have been. As it is, that's about 2.5 inches. My word, right? Piece of rhyolite banded. And look at the banded rhyolite here. So, nothing to complain about. I mean, that's 3 days and just some decent work. Backcountry, this came in, this little point, look at that. Sort of a heartbreaker, but not really. And then a couple nice pieces here, just materials that I had. And I was going to show if I had found something that was a trophy. But these are great pieces. No trophies. But, you know, I found a bunch of squirrels and raccoons and did pretty good hunting, enough to feed your family, you know, rabbits. But no trophies. Not a big elk. Not a big deer. You know, it's how the Indians must have hunted and gathered. But just some good artifacts. But now I'm going to slide over here. The last moving day giveaway is over. I have selected a winner and I will let them know. If I don't notify you, it wasn't you this time for that moving day, number 9. But what you're looking at right here, and I want to try to get through it, is rhyolite. Between an inch and 1.5, 2 inches. They're all very small. Put my hand over here, they disappear. Look at that. Now like this, it looks like a huge area. But they're stellar points. And I am still really doing my auditing and my inventory of artifacts. Gotta do it. After 5 years. What you're looking at is pretty much one bin. Maybe 1.5 bin. A lower bins. But one bin in my display box. So I've got to audit it and I've got to move through it. And for this, it is a giveaway, but it's a competition because I want to read what's in your heart. I like to get the response of what's in people's hearts. And what you're looking at right here, as I divide it out, of course, to the left over here is going to be what I'm going to put out the door. And to the right is going to be for sure what I feel like I need to keep. But there's some great artifacts here from great locations. Of course, these are the artifacts of North Carolina. As we take a little bit of a look here and we go through them. I'm going to read the question maybe twice just to make sure you get it. And if you want to win some of these, do it. Do it for a gift for somebody. Do it for yourself. It doesn't matter to me. You guys know how it works. The question is really simple. Do you think it would have been possible? Look at this banded rhyolite. Do you think it would have been possible to save or secure the North American Indian better in this country? Now, I'm going to take the word better out. But do you think it would have been possible to save or secure them? I mean, genocide happened. Pandemic disease happened. That's for sure. I'm not going to get into it too much because I'll probably spill some of the answers that we'll need. But do you think it would have been possible to save the North American Indian? As we have seen things evolve and as we've seen the negative effects on the North American Indian from here to California. And if you do, or if you don't, you need to tell me why or why not you think it's possible that we could have saved. Well, now, of course, you can do anything better. You can do anything better. Some nice highlight points, right? We're moving left and right on some of these. So, I just want your reflection of whether or not you think it's possible that we could have saved the North American Indian. Now, indeed, the North American Indian are populated across the country right now in reservations, but those reservations are quagmires, destitute, hurting, neglected through poor government policy and broken treaties. It's sad. I don't want to get into it. But if we go back in time to European contact and through a lot of our dealings and a lot of our opinions of the North American Indian, I'm wondering if you out there, and many of you that collect these artifacts, these are important statements of history, but would it have been possible to save or secure the North American Indian? Sure, we could have done it better, but I mean altogether, as a majority race in this nation, as a people that we could know well today and be proud of, would it have been possible in this country to save and secure them? That's the question right there at about 6.5 minutes. So if you need to know the question, you go back in the video and listen to it again. But I'm going to divide these things out. As we go through them, you'll see I'm dividing them. This is a great point right here. What I really like, actually, is the nature of that impact fracture. It was hot today. As you can see, my skin is very red. That's going to go over there as we go right through these. I'm going to try to go through them in sets, so we speed it up just a little bit more. Look at these. I mean, I know where they came from. This one came from Mecca. This one came from Mecca as well. It's a great point. These points, I mean, were made to feed their families. I love that. Made to feed their families. And so when we look at a group like this, I mean, that's adding up right there. That's well worth winning, well worth the thought and the competition of the question that I posed. And since I was a history teacher and a civics teacher, I always challenge people when it comes to the giveaways. If you don't want to be a part of it, or if you don't want to win some of these absolutely top shelf artifacts, you don't have to. No big deal. I always say that. Let's look here. Some great artifacts. Fun stuff to find. Little Guilford Yuma, those points. This is a giveaway. It's not a moving day, but like I said, I'm just doing some inventory and some auditing. You know, I saw something, or actually I should say I heard something. These are easy over here. I have to populate that side. See, now the group is comparable to this side. Pitiful. The mainstream news media. Somebody definitely sends them their talking points to every single network, so they blurt out of their mouth the same exact concerns or pretended concerns concerning our president or concerning our nation. They pretend to be concerned about certain things, but when 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 networks, 7 networks have the exact same words, a little bit like plagiarism, a little bit like BS, like somebody sent them all the talking points. There's no way they had the exact same verbiage and the same words. I mean, American public has been sick and tired of that stuff for so long. I don't know why they don't get a clue. I mean, you have to be absolutely ignorant not to know that they're propagandizing when they all had the same exact talking points. If you go to an alternative news feed, like the many that I have on subscribed, now I only have about 5 networks subscribed, maybe 6 of alternative news. Look at this piece from Hidden Hill. Now you can win these. If you have somebody you know, a child or somebody you know that loves these, that's going to take care of them, enter it for them. But as I was saying, the alternative news feeds, what's good about it, and I put a lot of feeds up and I put a lot of links up, there's always a different spin, there's a different expression, and they don't all agree, that's for sure. But that proves to you that they're thinking, that they care. You see, there's a difference there. There's no plagiarism involved. They don't pass around talking points. But the majority of consensus is the support of this nation, is to making our nation great, is believing it can be, is not believing the lie that it's a bad nation, an evil nation, or a poor nation. It's an absolutely magnificent nation. That's why everybody in the world, for the most part, would like to come here. The privileges here are deep and true. That's a very unique little point right there. All right, we're moving around. Just sort of chatting as we go. Look at this piece, nice piece in rhyolite. Man, my hands are so red. I hope it takes away from the blue a little bit, so I try to keep it on the gray. What great groups. Look at these 2 points. One here from Back Pass. Now, when I listed those off, there must have been 8 sites. It's true. At least 8 land areas that I have been busting my hump to get through in the last, just since it had a little spread, a little shower. And I have, but I haven't found a whole lot. Now, I guess that's relative, because finding this is fantastic. I'm happy with it. And for some people, I know you really don't find a whole lot, which is another reason that I take up these kind of days. And I knew when I went out today, if I didn't find a lot, if I didn't find a trophy, that I was going to give some artifacts away. This is just the way I work. But you got to earn them. You got to answer the question. And I'll say it one more time. Do you think it would have been possible to save and secure the North American Indian as we know them? Save and secure them as a magnificent race here in this nation, as people we could relate with, as people that we could honor and interact with and live with. Think about that now. And why or why not do you think that? It's a great piece right here from the dunes. I like that piece. Just unique. And the piece right here from Cascade. We're almost done. Look at those artifacts. This is rhyolite. For those of you who are not quite sure, just clicked in, the Hairy Mountains here in North Carolina is where all this rhyolite comes from. It's not indigenous to where I live, but check this out. You want to talk about a trade network for a material? Rhyolite. I'm going to tell you what. It just blows the mind, because it's 13 days foot travel from where I am. 13 days. That's a month altogether, even if you're loading mega cores of stone. Or somebody else was actually working, trading it in. And that could have been a task that some Indians were doing. I don't know. That's a great group. But that's a great group too, and that's what you're going to have an opportunity to win. We got 2 more up here. Look at this. Fly in here. The North American Indian on Indian Trace. I love these points. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discarding them. I'm not just getting rid of them. But I believe in you guys. I believe you have a good heart and you can find a good home, and you're more than free to win these and give them away to somebody who's going to love them, who doesn't tune into Indian Trace, or tell somebody to come by and pitch their hat in there so they can win some of these for themselves. Why not, right? Look at this. Look at this group. To me, that's a fantastic group. So enter today. It is a giveaway competition, because I really like to hear what your contrast is and whether or not you think it was possible to save or secure the North American Indian to be a living race, many nations of people that we could live with today. It might be a trick question. I do believe I know the answer, but I'm going to leave it at that. I really appreciate you tuning into Indian Trace from a lot of different angles. That's Indian Trace. And that's something that you can win. You can have for yourself, or you can give it away to somebody you love. And I hope you win out there. Thanks for tuning in.